this should be a game with a lot of mind games we might not even be able to see. In the bottom left, he only has to win one more game. Or we can go to the upper right, to the Zerg, who needs to win 2 more games. He is
Wongjin Star Soulkey from Korea.
And in the upper left, if he plays like he did in the first 2, he should have this, but you never know against his opponent, Soulkey. He is
Wongjin Stars SOS from Korea.
Tasteless.
What did I call it?
The upper left.
The upper left?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's okay.
How long have I been doing these intros?
Well, if you wouldn't, you could stop casting standing on your head, Tasteless. Wouldn't be so bad. Okay.
So,
What do you think about this one? Does Soulkey continue the comeback?
I don't know. I think it depends a lot on what SOS decides to do. Actually, no, let me take that back. I think it really depends on how Soulkey plays.
Yeah, I think
He's
if Soulkey
not playing
plays
as
his
well
best,
as we're used to saying that. And guys, I'm not saying Soulkey's not good, but
He's the best,
but right now it's not the Soulkey that we're used to casting or watching.
It's not the Soulkey of yesterday, the day before, or a week and a day ago.
Yeah.
Not any of those Soulkeys. Probably not even the Soulkey from the middle of the week either.
Well, you also got to keep in mind this guy's been going to he's got a lot of practicing. I mean, he just won a GSL Kodas. I can't imagine how much you actually have to train for to then win one of those.
Yeah.
And then, he's going to have to practice and prepare for this tournament as well. It could be a sign of burnout too. So we're going to have to see.
Well, this map is really good for dividing up and going for Storm Host on. And we've seen Soulkey do that before here. It's a very strong strategy. So we're going to see from SOS probably some very sharp builds, Tasteless. Like, he's going to have to get in there with a diamond edge blade and kill Soulkey before he gets the map split up.
Yeah. Because if it does become a split map scenario, the Zerg can keep making those spine crawlers. And what happens is Protoss has an almost impossible time, after almost all the maps mined out, Protoss has an almost impossible time when all the minerals are starting to run out, acquiring the top center or bottom center bases.
Well, right now, just the kind of standard openings that we always do end up seeing. Just a Forge expand against a Zerg taking 3 bases. We got to really wait till after that Cybernex core to see what's going on. But most likely from Soulkey, we're going to end up seeing a Stargate. That's the standard of the matchup.
Well, I would definitely go with Stargate on this map. I think that last game was probably the best one we saw from these two, to be honest. But again, we'll have to wait and see. You never know. SOS is one of these guys that has so many different builds.
Yeah.
He's really at the forefront of Protoss.
His favorite style, I would say, and the one that I most enjoy watching is what he used on Whirlwind. Some Sky Toss with Charge Lots and Storm mixed in.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful style. It's actually really fun to play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know you use Sky Toss quite often. Do you like it with the High Templar Charge Lot?
I love it.
Because that's my favorite.
Yeah, I love it flows really naturally because you end up with these extra minerals. And then, the Zealots, it's funny how the Zealots just pair well with the Sky Toss army.
Yeah, they just kind of do. Because, do you really want roaches against Sky Toss? Not so much.
No, not so much.
No.
Not as good. So we have the Stargate over here. I like where that was placed, but of course, that's another kind of meta mind game thing is where do you hide the Stargate against the guy that you practice with all day?
That's very true.
Yeah. There's literally been prior deliberation some point in time the team house about the best place to hide the Stargate.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Yeah,
there definitely is. I remember so many times in the past where I've seen things like that with practice partners. Like my SCV will be hiding in a great place that's so far out of the way, and then G5's Dragoon comes in and kills it. And I'm like, you know what? This is getting ridiculous. We just know each other too well.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you have to start hiding it in like the worst hiding spots, somewhere in the middle of the map.
That's the meta move right there.
The
like hiding it in plain
there.
sight, Tasteless.
Yeah.
That's some Bruce Lee stuff right there. Sun Tzu or somebody.
Yeah, man.
Somebody wise and good at fighting said something about hiding in plain sight. I'm sure about it.
Crouching probe, hidden cannon stuff right there. So we got the drones now being transferred over here to the third base. And everything is very standard so far for these guys.
He's going for that same 4-gas timing once again. Soulkey liking that style. Getting his Roach Warren as well, just in case he's...
Just in case he's...
Yeah. You got to get that Roach Warren just in case.
I think it's the first time I've heard you use that term ever in my entire life.
Really?
I believe so.
I say it every now and then, not
really?
too often.
All right, I must not have caught that.
I keep it in my vernacular just in cases.
Protoss, again, is just going to take this third base. And these guys are not attacking into each other because it's too much of a risk right now. If they were to attack into the opposing player and then lose that fight, there's just almost no way to come back.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, this is pretty much the same build we're seeing from Soulkey as we saw in Whirlwind. He's going for the one Phoenix, chasing away Overlords, making sure he can't be scouted, and then going for Void Rays. And here you go, third base, a couple more Stargates going up. Soon enough, we'll have that plus air attack as well as the plasma shields.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So, as they continue to upgrade, one advantage that I want to point out here for when you go Sky Toss, and it punishes one of the fundamental advantages Zergs normally start out with, is that you can take out all the Overlords on the map.
Yeah, and in fact, he's hitting his 4th right now. A little bit sloppy, I do have to say, from Soulkey to have this one sitting right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's... Well, we'll see. We'll see. I just feel like he's been off in several of these games.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to be overly critical of Soulkey here, guys.
Well, normally
we just saw this guy.
Perfectly.
Yeah, we just saw this guy win a Code S against whom we all believe was the greatest player alive right now. So right now, and let me just highlight what I was talking about earlier. So he can take out all the Overlords on the map. Now, the reason why that's so strong is that then you can hide a pylon anywhere. And that allows you to make those Zealots while you're doing the Sky Toss army. Send the Zealots in there and do a good amount of damage.
Yeah.
Potentially taking out a hidden hatchery, or not hidden hatchery, any hatchery actually. I don't know why I said hidden hatchery. So we have the Twilight Council now on the way. So far, SOS looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's hitting his build just perfectly, but right now Soulkey is getting that Enduring Locust upgrade. So he is preparing for one of these games where he is going to sit back, turtle, and do his best. Yep. He's getting a lot of queens to counter the Void Rays for now. He's going up to 7 at the moment, but with 3 Void Rays popping out at a time, I'm not sure that he's going to have quite enough anti-air to actually deal with this. SOS might hit a nice little timing attack before Soulkey's truly set up.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's too bad that Changeling got to see that the gateways were on the way. That gives you a really good sense if you're Zerg of exactly what the timing is going to be. And this, I think, is actually pretty risky, taking another hatchery here.
Yeah, he's just thrown up a lot of hatches at this point, realizing he's playing against Sky Toss, and he is making 15 mutas tasteless, so I actually really do like that. We'll see what he can do with them now.
All right.
The muta's coming up towards these Void Rays.
He needs to get that Mothership Core!
And he does warp out, loses the Void Ray. So that was actually a pretty successful defense.
Yeah, you know, it's for a second I was a little worried, guys, because if you get that Mothership Core and get the Void Rays, it's basically game over, especially against somebody as good as Soulkey.
Yeah. Well, you know, right now the Enduring Locust is going to have to wait. Of course, he did cancel that to switch his tech up when he saw how many Void Rays there were out. And now he's making a lot of Corruptors once again. So, you know, this game started out like the Roland game, but now it's looking more like the Akalong game.
Yeah, and it really is.
Can SOS actually hold on correctly this time? He's getting that Fleet Beacon, he's getting a lot of Phoenixes, but when the Corruptors come, it's going to be a bit harder.
Now, you know, it's also really good to note that Spire is put in a really good position where it's simply put not going to get hit by Zealots. Yeah. All right, again, trying to get that hidden probe out there just keeps...
going to be pretty hard to do right now.
The traffic of the mutas as they keep trying to patrol around the map.
Yeah. Well, an Archon on the way. That's very helpful against clumped up Corruptors. A lot more cannons this time, and I really do like that because he will hit a level with his army when he has his Side Storms, Archons, his Void Rays, and his Phoenixes where he can fight against Soulkey. But until then, he has to protect his economy.
Yeah. Now, this might be a little risky by SOS if the Zerg catches any of this Protoss army out of position here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if if the cannons don't get up, the cannons are really kind of solidify the Sky Toss army. If he doesn't get that up and running, he could be hit pretty hard. Now, let's look at the supplies here. Zerg is maxed out. Protoss, though, has actually been doing a really good job of keeping up. What's that, 158? I think in the prior game he was at about 125 or something like that.
He's got a very good set of supply, but the thing is, these fungals are going to be money. Nice fungal going down, not the best. He wants to get the Skytoss army itself.
Oh, man. Okay, whoa, that Archon actually got out. That's really nice.
Yeah.
You know, with these Muta armies and these Corruptor armies, one hit from the Archon because of the splash damage does so much damage.
Yes.
Even if it only gets off one hit before it's targeted and died in a big battle, it's worth it.
It can be. When those things are all clumped up, man, that can be a ton of damage. You know, he is getting Psystorm right now, but I definitely want to see some High Templars in the army. He's going to need a couple feedbacks because he can't let himself get chain fungal. That's maybe the scariest thing that can happen right now.
Absolutely. All right, you see a little bit of poking here. Kind of impressed. Soulkey actually went over there and just tried to make sure he could deny that watchtower for a little bit.
Some High Templars being warped in.
We got Swarm Host play now. Now, when you get split map situations such as this map we have here, it's not uncommon for, actually I shouldn't say it's not uncommon, it's quite common to mass up a ton of spine crawlers and then you just make so many Swarm Hosts.
Yeah.
And what happens with the Protoss is this top expansion and bottom expansion, you can't acquire it because there's this endless wave. It's like a zombie movie or something. Just endless wave of locusts coming out.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and they just slowly do chip away at you, and eventually you die out because Zerg can figure out a way to acquire that location.
Yeah. Well, good mobility right now from SOS running on. He's going to snipe this hatch. More locusts are going to be on the way, so he's got to watch out for that. Does not want to engage that with a Zealot Archon type force. That will get absolutely destroyed. So he really needs to be running around the map quite a bit here.
Yeah, exactly. So now with the Protoss being maxed out, that's why you see the additional gateways. What Protoss wants to be able to do is throw his entire maxed out army at the Zerg, and then as it's beginning to get killed off, boom, instantly remaxed.
Teams is coming up, chasing away these mutas right now, but the Corruptor's getting into position. Stormhost not burrowed, but there they go. They do go down, and it looks like SOS wants to get some attack down, but where does he go? The center is really getting hard to attack into.
It looks like he wants to go over here to the bottom right base. I'm not sure how well defended that is. It is fairly well defended, but it's a Swarm Host need to get over there and really help out.
And here we go, some side storms coming down, but those, great fungal growths going down, even though he lists quite a few, and the Locust doing a number on his ground army.
Yeah, wow, all right, that actually is basically unforgivable. I mean, look at the supplies now. He lost all those Void Rays. You know what this is like? It's like in a TVT where one guy loses like 13 tanks.
Yeah.
And you know, essentially he's been making these tanks the entire game and he loses it. Now he's been knocked back into the Stone Age as far as, you know, what his mech army was. It's like that with the Skytoss army. When you lose all the Void Rays, it's going to take a long time to remake that. And I think now the Zerg should be able to take out this expansion over here, the fourth base for our Protoss player, SOS.
Well, we're actually watching SOS warping a lot of Zealots against this, and of course he can't engage the actual Swarmos with these Zealots. You don't want to be fighting Locusts with Zealots. It's a terrible fight for the Zealots. And in fact, as you see, a lot of damage being dealt.
Over there on the Templars. And another beautiful chain fungal here, catching him again and again.
Really great chain fungal. Zealot's trying to get in there and get something done, but I think Soulkey just has too much at this point, Casus, and there's not a lot of gas for SOS.
He's warped in more Templars, but they don't have quite enough energy to do the damage they need to do. And, you know, this is what's so scary about Zerg at this phase of the game is this is an expendable army. Locusts and Infested Terrans, they don't cost supply.
Yeah.
So even if you win the fight against them, you still took damage, and the Zerg did not. So I think slowly but surely we're going to see Soulkey run over SOS, and that's going to bring us to game number 5 here.
That's right.
Can SOS come back?
Oh my God, this is like a deja vu from before. Tasteless SOS, he almost came back before, but now he went up 2-0, and Soulkey is the one fighting back.
This is pretty incredible.
Only comebacks with Team Mountain.
Yep. Now he's got the Swarm Host coming out here now and just continue to do a lot of damage. There's too many Corruptors, too many infested Terrans. He's using Psystorm, but he's burning that out on expendable units. The Swarm Host can respawn those Locusts, and they will do that right now, making this impossible for the Protoss to recover from.
Yeah, this is it. The last stand of SOS, trying to fight those Locusts for a moment, thinks better of it and runs back, but way too much for Soulkey. If you look at that mini-map, he truly has just split up everything. Even if this entire attacking army died, Soulkey has a huge gas bank and will easily replenish.
Yeah, all right, so SOS, a moment of panic here. It looked like he was unstoppable after game number 2. Soulkey very quickly turning this series around. This should go now to game number 5. And that means that it's anybody's game to this point in time. But of course, you got to remember Soulkey, the master of comebacks. He could be going to the finals once again.
He definitely could. It's looking a little bit more likely at this point, Tasteless. He's hitting his stride quite a bit more. And oh yeah, that was never going to be beautiful. Some good storms going down. He may end up killing off this army, but again, SOS. His economy is so badly hurt. His natural now gone. It's going to be so hard to even defend all his buildings.
It wouldn't even hurt right now for him to start the Archon to attack his own Zealots on top of the Swarm Host just to do the splash damage and kill him.
Yeah, we should be seeing a GG in just a second.
Yeah, that GG was a little bit overdue, but
it was.
All right, 2-2, sick.
2. All right.
What do you think? Is he going to come back?
Thank God it wasn't a 3-0 first off.
I know.
Is Soulkey going to complete the comeback? I'm not sure. It's hard to say.
I don't know. I really don't know. You know, Soulkey seems to have his head back in the game. I really can't call this one. What do you think?
No, it's very hard to say. Either way, Woongjin is looking pretty good going into the finals, right?
Yeah,
because they have a great PV tier, and they have Soulkey, who has already shown he can kill Innovation, the strongest Terran in the world. So either way, for the team, it's very nice. I'm not sure between the players who's going to win, though. It's hard to say. Some of these, the last 2, Soulkey played very well. The first 2, he did not. So which Soulkey's going to show up to Game 5?
Well, we're going to see very soon here as this game's about to get started. It's going to be on Belshir Vestige. Now, this map, it's fine for Zerg early on, but one of the problems that Zergs face as it gets later on in the game is you're expanding towards the Protoss. Now, when you're expanding towards the Protoss or expanding towards the Terran, it's always going to be a problem. Ideally, Zergs always want to expand away from their opponent so that they can just get more resources. So that's why Zergs love Whirlwind so much. So we'll have to see. The game's going to be starting very soon, and it's loading, in fact, right now. You guys having fun here?
We're actually getting quite
I get a nod. They're like, yeah, Tasteless, it's great.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
pretty chill, man.
Pretty chill, dude.
Yeah.
That's good. We're in the game now, so we're going to throw that up on camera and see who's going to be going to the finals first here at WCS Season 1 Finals. In